All right, let's just dive right in. We are all living through this massive shift in technology, right? We're moving away from software that just, follows a list of instructions to AI agents that can actually think, plan, and act all on their own. Now, this is unbelievably powerful, but it also completely shatters our old ways of thinking about quality. So the big question is, how do we build agents we can actually trust?
Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, check out this analogy. It's perfect. Think of traditional software as a delivery truck. It's got a fixed route, a clear job. You just check if it started and if it got from A to B. Simple, right? But an AI agent, whoa, that's a whole different beast. It's a Formula One race car, screaming around the track, making split-second decisions based on changing conditions. You can't use a simple checklist for that. You need constant, live telemetry to understand the quality of every single move it makes.
And here's why this matters so much. These agents fail in ways we've just never seen before. We're not talking about your classic blue screen of death or an obvious bug. No, these failures are way more subtle, almost insidious, and they quietly eat away at the trust we place in these systems. And when you look at these new failure modes, it gets pretty wild. We're talking about an agent that might secretly amplify biases it learned from its training data, or one that just confidently makes stuff up, what we call a factual hallucination. Even crazier, they can develop totally unexpected strategies, finding loopholes in your own rules to get to a goal. And how do you even begin to debug that? You can't just set a breakpoint in your code to fix a hallucination. This is a whole new ballgame.
Okay, so we've established the problem. The old rulebook is useless. So, now what? We can't fix what we can't define, right? We need a new framework. We have to agree on what good even looks like in this autonomous world before we can even hope to build it.
And it really comes down to asking 4 fundamental questions. These 4 pillars. Is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it robust? And maybe the most important of all, is it safe and aligned with our goals? This is the foundation for everything.
So let's break these down. Pillar number 1, effectiveness. This is the ultimate bottom line. At the end of the day, did the agent actually solve the user's real problem? It's not just about did the code run without an error. No, it's about did it deliver the outcome, the insight, the thing you were really looking for.
All right, next up, efficiency. Look, it's not enough to get the right answer if the journey to get there was a complete mess. Imagine telling an agent to book a simple flight and it eventually works, but it took 25 steps, 5 failed API calls, and 3 loops of correcting itself. I mean, that's not a high-quality agent, even if it got the ticket in the end. It's just clumsy and expensive.
Then we've got robustness. And this one is huge, because the real world is messy. APIs time out. Users give you vague, confusing prompts. So what happens then? Does the agent just crash and burn? Or maybe worse, hallucinate some nonsense answer? Or does it fail gracefully? A robust agent does what a smart assistant should do. It asks for clarification. It tells you what it can't do instead of just making things up.
And that brings us to the final pillar. And honestly, this is the non-negotiable one. Safety and alignment. This is all about the guardrails. Does the agent stay within its boundaries? Does it push back on harmful or unethical requests? This is the ultimate gatekeeper that ensures the agent is a trustworthy representative of you and your organization. So, we have our 4 pillars. Great. But how in the world do we measure them? Well, this requires a pretty big mental shift from how we're used to thinking about software. We have to stop just looking at the final answer and start judging the entire journey it took to get there.
And it all comes down to this one powerful idea. The trajectory is the truth. Let that sink in for a second. An agent can stumble upon the right answer for all the wrong reasons, and that's not just sloppy, it's actually dangerous. The only way to know if an agent is truly high quality and safe is to look at the entire path it took, its complete chain of thought.
So how do you do that in practice? It's what's called an outside-in approach. You start on the outside with the black box view. Super simple question. Did it achieve the goal? Yes or no? If it failed, or, hey, even if it succeeded, but in a really weird way, then you crack open that black box, turn it into a glass box, and you look inside to see the why. You trace every thought, every tool it used, to find the root cause.
Okay, but how? I mean, how do you see inside an AI agent's mind? It sounds like something out of science fiction. Well, it's not. The key is a discipline we call observability. It's all about having the right tools to open up that glass box.
Let me give you another analogy, because this one really makes it click. Traditional software monitoring is like watching a line cook. They have a recipe, they follow the steps, you just check if they did it right. But an AI agent, that's a gourmet chef in a mystery box challenge. They're improvising, creating, combining things in new ways. You can't just taste the final dish and know if they're a good chef. You have to understand their creative process. That's observability.
So how do we get that kind of visibility? Well, it boils down to three key things. First, you've got logs. Think of these as the agent's diary, every single little thing it did. Then you have traces, which connect all those diary entries into a single, coherent story. And finally, you've got metrics. That's the high-level health report, the final scorecard that tells you how things are going overall.
Okay, let's pull this all together. We know what quality looks like, our 4 pillars, and we know how to see the process, observability. So, the final piece of the puzzle is, how do we turn this into a system that constantly gets better on its own? This is where the agent quality flywheel comes in.
And here it is. It's a continuous, self-reinforcing loop. First, you define quality with those 4 pillars. Then, you instrument your agent so you have total visibility. Next, you evaluate the entire process, the trajectory. And here's the magic, the 4th step. You build a feedback loop. Every single failure is automatically captured and turned into a new test case. So the system literally learns from its mistakes and can't make the same one twice. With every turn, the flywheel spins faster and the agent gets smarter.
And this all leads to one absolutely critical takeaway. You can't just bolt on quality at the end of the process. You can't treat it like some final testing phase. It's just like our Formula 1 car. You don't build the car and then decide to glue on some sensors. No way. They are designed in from the very beginning. Quality has to be an architectural pillar from day one.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about for your own projects. It's easy to build an agent that's capable of doing amazing things. The demos are always incredible. But the real goal, the much harder goal, isn't just capability. It's building something that's reliable, safe, and ultimately worthy of our trust. So ask yourself, is the agent you're building just capable, or is it truly trustworthy?